Hello and welcome to a little bit of a different video for once. My name is WW Dadman, but you already know that. Um, if you have I don't know if any of you know this, but I'm a tiny little bit of a language nerd. Um, Now, this is Duolingo. I've been using Duolingo to learn Japanese for on and off about a year and a half or something. I don't know. Maybe a little bit longer. But um, Medic, my co-op partner, you know from Power Wash Simulator and Kiwi and VCD and stuff like that. Medic is learning German with Duolingo. We've been talking about that on the Power Wash episodes every now and then, and so apparently, just from what Medic said on Discord recently, Duolingo kinda had a weird wrong pronunciation of the German word for tea. As in, it sounds the same as the English tea, which is just wrong. One, I want to see whether that's like what that actually sounds like, because holy crap, that's wrong. The German pronunciation of the word for tea, it's spelled T-E-E, but it's pronounced T. So yeah, if there's something like that in there. Also, just in general, I want to see how good Duolingo is at teaching a language that I personally definitely know, since that's literally my native language. So we're gonna go into this and click on the already know some German thing here. That's like the understatement of the year, but still. I want to see what the test here looks like. So start
Du
the
bist
test.
meine Schwester.
I mean, that actually sounded decent. That sounded like they had an actual German speaker, like an actual German speaker, record that. That was very obviously German. Since even if I'm from Austria, so even if an Austrian goes ahead and speaks high standard German, which is very unlikely, seeing as we will most likely not stop using dialect no matter who we talk to. Even then, you can, if you speak German, that is, you can easily tell which one is the Austrian in a group of people. Pretty obviously, there's just a complete there is a huge difference in intonation between German and Austrian German. It's, I mean, I guess to somebody who doesn't speak the language is a nuance, but still, this sentence literally means "you are my sister." So let's put that on here. You're my father. Du bist mein Vater.
Du bist mein Vater.
Do you see the difference in pronunciation between how I said it and the how Duolingo's voice recording said it? Also, very obviously not recorded in one sentence. This is single words recorded to just be the single words. But hey,
Woher kommst du?
The fucking... Why? Why do you enunciate it in a way where you put the emphasis on woher? Like, if you say it like that, then you're putting emphasis on the first word, woher, which means from where. So this you wouldn't say it like that unless you were asking somebody who literally just told you where they're from and you didn't quite understand it, or you never heard of the place before. If they said they're from, like, I don't know, Jabberwocky, I never heard of the place, and I was like, woher? If you're just stating that as a question, you would say, woher kommst du? You'd put the emphasis on the coming. So, where are you coming from? Where are you from? It's the same in English. You would say, where are you from, not where are you from. Right? Where do you come from is actually what they want here. Where do you come from? Yeah. But if you translate that, where do you come from? Huh? You don't say, where do you come from? You say, where do you come from? Same with the pronunciation here. You don't say,
Woher kommst du?
but woher kommst du? Hey, you're good at this? Yeah, it's my native language, Duo.
Ich bin Lehrer.
How did you just pronounce that?
Ich bin Lehrer.
Okay. Duolingo's sound recordings are substandard, honestly. In terms of quality. Like, just sound quality. Because that sounded a whole lot more like a sh on the first listen. And that's actually one of the, like, really, really hard things for English speakers to learn, because it's not a sound that the English language has. So CH is not something that you're gonna, like, easily pick up as an English speaker, I don't think. Ich bin Lehrer means I'm a teacher.
Regnet es heute?
Regnet es heute?
Regnet es heute?
Does it rain today?
Ich möchte wandern gehen, aber das Wetter ist zu heiß.
Ich möchte wandern gehen, aber das Wetter ist zu heiß. I would like to, or yeah, would like to go hiking, but the weather is too hot. There we go.
Einen Apfelkuchen ohne Eis, bitte.
That, I mean, sure, it's a language learning app. It should be slow and enunciated, but it still sounds weird to somebody who actually speaks the language. If somebody says a frickin' easy sentence like that slowly. So that's a weird request, because I just why would you order apple pie without ice cream or without ice? It makes literally no difference, by the way. In German, ice is just ice or ice cream. It makes no difference. The difference is in the meaning, obviously, yes, but it's the same word for both. I don't know if they want you to actually... Like, the translation back to English would actually be grammatically weird if you start the frickin' sentence with N. Also, Apfelkuchen... Technically, apple cake is not something that exists. What we call Apfelkuchen is apple pie. Like, there is no like cake. With apple. That's like you directly translated the two words that composite these the word Apfelkuchen, apple and cake. It's not a cake though. Just because something is called Kuchen in German, it doesn't mean it's a cake. Apple cake, I guess, without ice cream. Please. That is a really weird request that you will never need in your entire life. This is literally the same, but translating it from a weird English sentence to the German sentence they want.
Einen Apfelkuchen ohne Ei. Bitte.
Now it sounds like weird AI talking. That's like... what? That... This sentence makes no sense in English. Like, is this a request to somebody? Drink only water? That's grammatically wrong in English. That's using German sentence structure in English language in the English language. That makes absolutely no sense.
Heidi, trink. Nur Wasser. Ich wohne in Berlin.
I live in Berlin. Which I don't. The witch Nina has one eye and is friendly. That, okay. Very weird. Okay, good, nice, get some sort of weird ass scenario going, sure. I guess you gotta have a way to introduce words that usually don't come up in conversations. Because when are you ever gonna actually talk about a witch?
Die Hexe.
Excuse me?
Hexe.
Why are you saying it like that?
Hexe.
It kind of sounds like, I don't know, she wants to be like sounding like I don't know, a freaking how do I put this? It sounds weird.
Nina.
Also, the way she pronounced the name is weird. Anyway.
Hat ein Auge und ist freundlich.
And now, how an actual human being would pronounce this. Die Hexe Nina hat ein Auge und ist freundlich.
Ich treffe meinen Partner im Biergarten.
I am meeting my partner at the beer garden. I don't know if beer garden is an actual word in English, but that's a direct translation of the composite word beer garden. Whatever. Which socks do you want to pack? Welche Socken
Socken
willst du
du
einpacken?
einpacken.
The way he pronounced "du" is anyway. That's also something that I noticed when actually learning Japanese. Clicking on those words, it sounds really, really weird when you put together the sentence like that. Because it sounds robotic. It sounds like a bad AI program trying to talk. I've also just generally turned off the freaking audio for my Japanese lessons because I know how to read Japanese. It's always pronounced the way it is spelled. So, like, the only things that you have to know, I already know. Anyway.
Kostet eine Gurke 60 Cent?
That is a very specific question that you're never going to ask. Because if you're gonna ask that, then obviously there's already a sign there telling you that that the cucumber costs 60 cents. Because otherwise you're not going to ask exactly for that freaking amount, right? So this is a redundant question. I sometimes really don't get how Duolingo structures their freaking example sentences. Does a cucumber cost 60 cents? Also, the fact that in the answer sentences you never have a question mark, it always looks weird.
Mia und Tim, ist eure Wohnung sauber für die Party? Mia und Tim.
Oh, there's the
T.
Oh, hey, it actually pronounces it correctly. T.
T.
Like the letter in German. So, I don't know where Medic was coming from. Anyway. What was that?
Ist eure
Wohnung sauber für die Party. Was there something else?
Mia und Tim, ist eure Wohnung sauber für die Party?
Yeah, okay, that's it.
Wann hört das Spiel auf?
When does the game end? Where are you going with your bottles of beer? Who asks that?
Wohin gehst du mit deinen Flaschen Bier?
I mean, you're also just gonna call them Bierflaschen, which means you're going to put this word at the end of this word, making a new word. Nobody calls them Flaschenbier. Unless that's like a German thing. And, I mean, like, hardly anybody would still, I don't think. They're, like, everybody just calls bottles of beer Bierflaschen. Not. God damn it, I'm getting confused between German and English. Wow. And not frickin' Flaschenbier. That just nobody does that. I'm writing. Ich schreibe.
Ich schreibe.
Mein Kind will das alte Auto kaufen. Hast du es noch?
Why does your child want to buy an old car? What? Why? Like, example sentences. Dear Duolingo, please make example sentences that make sense. Why would a child buy a car? Whatever. My child wants to buy the old car, comma, which isn't a thing that I can put here. Do you still have it? Question mark. How was the barbecue yesterday? Wie war die Grillparty gestern? Weird ass AI voice.
Oma, kannst du für uns einen Stollen backen?
Weird ass AI voice. Good. Grandma, can you bake? I guess you'd call this a Christmas cake. Then it would be a Christstollen to be exact, and not just a Stollen. But also, it's kind of a fruitcake. I don't know what they call that in English. That's the problem. A fruitcake. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what they call that in English. Because, one, I don't like that stuff. So, I literally have never frickin' needed to talk about it in anything but German.
Guten Tag, Herr Klinsmann. Kann ich reinkommen?
If you're talking like that, no, you can't. But still.
Guten Tag, Herr Klinsmann. Kann ich reinkommen?
Wie war das Konzert gestern?
God damn it, your voice is annoying. Holy shit. How was the concert yesterday? Also, again...
Wie war das Konzert gestern?
That sentence, like you said it just now, literally has no freaking, like, emphasis on it. There's no emphasis. That's really weird. That sounds robotic as fuck. The only thing that, like, the only thing it does is go up with the pitch at the end because it's a question. Which, you know, that's a thing in English as well. That's not something you need to teach necessarily. Also, hardly anybody does that in everyday language. At least not if it's small talk like that. You're not gonna, like, if you're gonna ask that question in English, you're gonna say, how was the concert yesterday? Not, how was the concert yesterday? Right? It sounds weird if you do the going up with the language, with the pitch at the end, and in a like question that basically is just small talk. So you're just gonna say, wie war das Konzert gestern? And you're gonna put an emphasis on the concert, not on nothing. It sounds unnatural. I know, but we want to visit my family in Vienna. Okay. That is obviously, again, an example sentence that needs context, because just by itself, it's weird to preface that with I know in either of the languages.
Ich weiß.
The way he just said it, it sounded like the color white. I don't know why. Do we actually say it differently in a way? Yeah, because if it's the one coming from wissen, I think we pronounce the EI shorter. Just I don't know. That's how it sounds to me if I say it. Because the color is called weiß. If I want to say I know, I say ich weiß. It feels to me like that I is shorter on the one that comes from wissen. Aber. Again, comma. That's not there. Wir wollen.
Wollen.
That sounded more like the frickin' plural of wool. Like multiple wools, which is because, you know, wool is Wolle. So the frickin' plural would be Worn. Aber wir wollen. Meine
Familie.
In Wien. The pronunciation of that visit, besuchen. Dude. My mom isn't helping me, she's helping a friend. That is again a very weird sentence. How Like, I thought it might be like that. Like, when I'm using Duolingo for learning Japanese, I've had like instances where I'm like, that's a weird sentence. Why are you using that sentence that way? Screw it. I'm just gonna do the exercise. Now that I'm trying to see what they're doing with a language I actually speak, yeah, they're using very weird sentences. It's weird. It's really weird. Like, whenever are you ever gonna need that sentence in specific? Never. How is this ever going to help you? At all.
Meine Mama.
No.
Mama.
That is a really fucking weird pronunciation of mama. You know, there's also something about this now. Depending on how you want to put this, you could have two different sentence structures for this in German. One being, meine Mama hilft nicht mir, sie hilft einem Freund. Or in this case, they're going for the freaking female version. Einer Freundin. Because that is not actually like something that is obvious in the English language. Like, whether that friend back there is male or female is completely oblivious. In English, in German it isn't, because you have to basically use the correct version. Either way, the other version would put emphasis on that she's not helping me but somebody else. The other version would be, meine Mama hilft mir nicht, sie hilft einer Freundin. Which would just be stating a fact. Or two separate facts, basically. I want to see if it does recognize it if I put it the way where it actually has some sort of meaning.
Nicht.
Warte mal, Moment.
Hilft nicht mir.
I would in German you would put sondern in there if you want to put it like that, but just to put more emphasis on the fact that she's not helping me but somebody else. Whatever. Comma, that's again something that is actually important in grammar that Duolingo does not at all cover.
Sie hilft einer Freundin.
It does. Wow. It does do both correctly. Good. So, the difference between these two is the sentence structure here. Which is basically just putting emphasis. This is the way they put it down here. It's just stating two separate facts. She's not helping me, she's helping somebody else. This puts emphasis on she's not helping me, but she's helping somebody else.
Geh in den Drogeriemarkt und kauf Seife.
The way that was pronounced at the end, it sounded like that was one word, Kaufseife, which is something that doesn't exist. Buying soap. Because it, again, freaking put the emphasis on Kauf, which makes no sense. You'd never put the emphasis there in this sentence. You'd put the emphasis on the soap, on Seife. Because you obviously want them to go and buy soap. Go to the drugstore and buy soap, not go to the drugstore and buy soap. It's the same thing in English. I don't get it. Why they fucking hate pronouncing it correct. Like, pronouncing the entire sentence correctly. Geh in den Drogeriemarkt und kauf Seife. What? Geh in den Drogeriemarkt. Geh in den Drogeriemarkt und kauf Seife. And buy soap. Okay. So, now with basically getting 100% on the test, let's see where it puts me. Yeah, I don't need Jeb. Thank you, go away. I'm not going to do any street goals, thank you. Jump ahead to Unit 12. Okay. Later. Also, just in general... Okay, there's nothing else here other than that. Good. Yeah, I just wanted to, like, get an idea. One, also, settings. Where... Okay, you don't have fucking... Really? Really? You don't have dark mode on desktop? That's horrible. Fuck you. I know why I'm using my phone for this. Like, holy shit, I could not look at this for more than like an hour a day without going blind. Like, I'm already going blind looking at this for like 40 seconds, 40 minutes. All in all, for the entire video, but still. Let's see. What are these anyway? Order in a cafe, describe your family. What's in here? Kaffee oder Tee? Kaffee bitte. Danke, tschüss. No. Okay. Maybe... No, I don't think anybody ever combined Danke and Tschüss in one sentence. Unless it like unless you wanna be abrasive. Like, thanks, goodbye. In that kind of like tone. Like in a thanks, now get the hell out of here kind of way. That's the only way I could see anybody saying Danke, tschüss. And it's not like tschüss isn't just a normal way of saying goodbye. But combined with thanks, it's a little bit weird. Nobody uses it like that. Other than for literally what I just said. Being abrasive and like... It's weird. Anyway. Also... Yes, that does mean nice. Depending on how you put it, this can also be like... This can also be understood as sarcasm. I do think that's also a thing with nice in English, right? A sarcastic nice is a thing. It's much more common in German though. Because I don't think anybody uses nett as a frickin' positive thing in, like, everyday speech. It's always used in a sarcastic way. At least in Austria. I don't know about Germany. Like, I honestly haven't heard Germans using nett to actually mean something positive. Actually meaning nice in a positive way. Like, a lot. Either. So, there's also like a saying, nett ist die kleine Schwester von Scheiße, which means nice is the little sister of shit. So if you're saying that's nice, then you're basically saying it's shit, but in a nice way. But that's something you, like, if you're actually gonna understand somebody who's speaking German, then you probably should know that. Yep, that's correct. I guess that's fine. Okay, why would you need to confirm that? So that's basics, that's unit 1. Good. What are you doing in unit 2? And this is the kind of sentence structure that I feel is weird on my Japanese lessons. Where you, like, frickin' confirm something or deny something at the start of the sentence without actually having any context for what you're confirming or denying before. Because it makes no sense to just say, it is like that if there's no prior frickin' sentence telling you that. I don't know, that's I like how they switched the sides for the pictures for this. Like, if you're gonna...
Frau, der Mann.
Wow, I did not click that. Fuck you. Like, if you're gonna put pictures, put them correctly. Like, why would you put them with side switched for, like, order? Yeah, that's something that friggin' non-German speakers or just English speakers are gonna have a hard frickin' time with, because every frickin' noun in the German language is either masculine, feminine, or neutral. And a lot of them have, like, basically everything. For everything that's an animal, there is the opposite gender version of it as well. Like, for instance, for bear, der Bär is German for the bear, but it's a masculine noun. If you want to talk about a female bear, then you're calling then you're gonna say die Bärin. Yeah, and you're ending the word with an in to make it female. That's something that's probably coming up in this course way later. But yeah, who calls their mother? Like, the only time I use Mutter is if is in a "oh my god, mom, what the hell are you talking about? Shut up" way. That's the only time I say Mutter. Like, it's I kind of only use it as a derogatory term. Nobody says Guten Morgen, Mutter. Like, maybe if you're like incredibly freaking old-fashioned and like in the 19 fucking 50s or something, and you're like, or maybe 1800s, and you're like freaking nobles, then yeah, maybe that's like the appropriate use for this sentence. Nobody else uses that. Also, if you're gonna use like a casual thing like this, where it's a contraction, wie geht's, then you're not gonna use Guten Tag. Guten Tag is a very formal way of saying hello. It does mean good day, good afternoon. Yeah, I guess that's appropriate for when you use the word, because otherwise for anything before noon you use morning anyway. So Guten Morgen is a normal way of communicating, by the way. Guten Tag, nobody uses it, not really. At least not in Austria. But like, we don't use that at all. Like, at all. We don't use Guten Tag. That's a German thing. And I don't think that they use it a lot either. Like, it's only like in very formal speech. And then you wouldn't say wie geht's. Also, nobody actually like uses the word for very in answering that. If you're gonna say wie geht's, you're just gonna say hello, not Guten Tag. Also, the formal version of saying hello in Austria is Grüß Gott, which literally means greet God, but whatever, it's tradition. And just in general, I don't think anybody ever uses good evening. Like, neither in English nor in German. Other than if you're like hosting an event. Like you're the host of a show or something like that. Then you're gonna say Guten Abend, yeah. But you're not gonna say that in everyday speech. Lots of German words have silent H's. Yeah, that's correct. Silent H's make the vowel before it a little longer. That is actually a good explanation for that.
E.
That's actually a good explanation. Like, these explanations are shit on the Japanese course. Just saying. Also, the fact that I need to study Japanese via English because you don't get that, like, Duolingo doesn't have a German to Japanese course. There is German to like Spanish or something, or German to English, but there is no German Japanese course. So the fact that I have to use my second language to learn a third is kind of a little bit weird also. Entschuldigung, wo ist die Speisekarte? You know, usually if you're sitting at a restaurant or like generally a freaking place that has a menu that you get handed, then you're gonna just get that automatically once the waiter comes to your table. Otherwise, it's just already sitting there for some. And like, that's a weird sentence again. Like, no, you're never gonna you're never gonna ask that. If you're gonna ask for the frickin' menu, then you're just gonna ask, excuse me, can I have the menu? And not, excuse me, where is the menu? That kind of sounds a little bit pretentious. Like, hello, I'm here. Give me the menu, for God's sake. Where the hell is the menu? It makes you sound like an asshole if you're gonna say it like that. In both languages, really. Lecker is a really frickin' German word. Nobody in Austria uses it. We just use the word for good. Gut. Nope, nobody uses lecker in Austria. Yeah, there's no reason for that. There's no reason why salad is male and pizza is female. There is literally no reason. It's just that stuff ending in A
Pizza.
is more likely to be given feminine articles. That's all. Like, I'm having a hard time thinking of anything that ends in A that's considered masculine. It's for the most part, it's actually the ending letters do give you a good hint. Shut up. Give you a good hint, because if it ends in an A, it's most likely feminine. If it ends in, I don't know, R, it's most likely gonna be a masculine one. Because der Fernseher, der Computer. Okay, there I already have a frickin' one that doesn't work for that. Die Tastatur, which is keyboard, for the computer keyboard.
Hallo, woher kommst du?
Again, no frickin' like emphasis on any word. It makes this is such robotic flat speech. And on top of that being the forms for masculine and feminine, this, the one with the E at the end, is also plural. Like gender neutral plural. That's a weird question. Like, kochst du? Like right now? Or in general? Because this is in general. Do you cook? This is ambiguous. That is a very helpful... If I'm gonna ask somebody, where is the hotel? And they just call me, yeah, it's nearby. Yeah, thanks. Thanks a bunch. Asshole. Auch saying that... Okay, I'm switching to German. Because I'm reading German at the same time. Apart from that... there is literally no need to repeat this part of the sentence if you're gonna answer this question with this answer. The same way you're not gonna say that part completely. You're just gonna like shorten that to it is nearby. It's nearby. This here, you can completely leave out. You can just just answer in der Nähe. And it literally just means the same thing. Nearby. It's like if you're leaving out this entire part in English. Excuse me, where's the hotel? Where's the hotel? Nearby. That is an answer. That does qualify as a sentence. And this part is literally how you say nearby in German. So, that works in German as well. Entschuldigung, wo ist das Hotel? In der Nähe. That would be an appropriate way, like that would be an appropriate time to use Danke, tschüss. I mean, yeah, sure. Okay, it does say it out down there. German has different ways of saying you. It kinda has, like, in a way, it's similar to Japanese in there, in that way that it has levels of formality. It's just that we only have 2 levels. One being where you say du, which is like casual with friends, and the other one being using sie instead, and also using plural to talk about the other person, like sie and plural instead of du and singular. So this here, this sentence, woher kommen Sie? Where are you from? Where do you come from? Literally. Is one, direct speech formal, and 2, a question you can ask somebody about a group of other people. Because it's plural. Grammatically. I don't know why German uses plural as a polite form, but yeah, it does.
Wie viel kostet der Tee? Der Tee kostet 7 €.
Yeah, I really don't know why, like, the reason I'm doing this video, basically, is because Medic brought up the frickin' T part in Discord recently. Message here says literally because T is the word for tea in German. The same spelling, but still frickin' pronounced like English tea. Is one short for t-shirt in English? Yes, it is. And 2, it's also the T in frickin' golf, like the thing you put the ball on at the start. Those are still pronounced like English tea, though, not like tea. So I was kind of confused that frickin' Medic said something about that being maybe confusing for German speakers, because T also like the same T in English spelled 2 different ways can be 3 different things. Then again, I replied that, well, nobody ever talks about golf anyway, and t-shirts are literally called t-shirts in German, not t-shirts. T. That literally just, they just literally just have, we literally use the English word, 1 for 1. And none of them are pronounced like the German word, T. and maybe like I don't know. But yeah, that's when I came up with the like, because that made it look like Duolingo is mispronouncing stuff in the German course. I mean, they are kinda, but that's more of a like enunciation thing and not a pronunciation thing of like the words. But anyway, who needs 3 kilograms of tomatoes? 3 Kilo Tomaten. Oh ja, was glaubst du, was damit für einen Tomatensalat machen kannst? Like, imagine the frickin' tomato salad you can make with 3 kilos of tomatoes. That's a... Is that really how you say that in English? Wouldn't you say it's snowing a lot? Like, that's the kind of thing, like, this makes no sense in English. Why are you using it as the example sentence for teaching somebody the other language? And yeah, that there is an example for the sentence structuring thing where it's literally just
Heute ist es warm. Es ist heute kalt. Es ist sonnig heute.
Where it's literally just an emphasis thing. There you have the emphasis on heute, on today. There it's just es ist heute kalt. Yeah, okay, good. That's a freaking, it's cold today. That's just a statement. And there you have the emphasis on sunny. It's sunny today. It's the same sentence, different sentence structures. Because it doesn't matter whether you're talking about if
Es
it's...
ist heute kalt.
Shut up. Whether you're talking
Heute
about
ist
it
es warm.
Shut up. Whether you're talking about it being warm, cold, or sunny, the sentence structure is always the same. You can say any of
Heute
these.
ist es warm.
Fucking shut up! I'm not clicking it. I'm hovering over it. Like, why is that a fucking feature? God damn it, Duolingo. Anyway, so no matter what you're talking about, you can put either of these in either of these 3 configurations and they're correct. As I just said, though, you're putting emphasis on today or on the sunny or on nothing. Nobody is going to use a sentence like this. Nobody is ever going to say this sentence. That's just not how anyone talks. That's an English sentence put into German without thinking about whether a German or a German speaker in general would say that sentence like that. Like, if you're gonna talk about hobbies, you're just gonna ask, what are your hobbies? Was sind deine Hobbys? And yes, hobby is the same frickin' word in German. We don't have a word for it. We didn't have a word for it. We just imported the English word. I don't think there is a German word, like not even an old German word. Yeah, no, I can't think of a German way of saying hobby. Anyway. We don't use jetzt in this case. Was machst du gerade? Not jetzt. Gerade. Which also in this case means now. again, if you're saying it like that, ich frühstücke jetzt, then you're announcing that you're going to go ahead and eat your breakfast now. If somebody asks you, you're not going to freaking answer with jetzt. You're gonna answer with gerade. If somebody asks you, what are you doing? Ich frühstücke gerade. Not jetzt. That's that one is again a German versus Austrian German thing. I think nobody in Austria is going to call a chair Stuhl. We call it Sessel. Sure. Sure. Teach people to insult others. Interior design. Like, why? Yay for cases. Since that's something that the English language doesn't like use that extensively. Cases. Like every frickin' noun in the German language has 4 cases to be used in. And for each case, there is singular and plural, and for each of those cases, there is the article going with it. That also changes. So, yeah. Nobody calls it a job interview in German. Like, there is a German word for job interview. Vorstellungsgespräch. Nobody says job interview in German.
Wie viel kostet das Sakko?
That pronunciation, Sakko, that's again a German pronunciation. Because I don't know if in Austria we pronounce it closer to the original, I think, French word, Sakko. Not Sakko. I think that's just a pronunciation difference between Germany and Austria, though. Also, nobody uses that word in Austria, at least. Kaufhaus. That's a German word, if anything. Like, I don't know what a fucking department store is anyway. Like, what the fuck is a department store? I don't get it. It's just a store. I like how they translate ICE as express train. I mean, it's literally short for Intercity Express. ICE. But it's pronounced ICE since, you know, it's just a frickin' 3 letters. German pronunciation of the letters. Yeah, that's actually something. In Great Britain, they sometimes drop the past and say 9:30 and mean 9:30, when 9:30 for me is 8:30. Because 9:30 is 8:30. And also 9:15 is Viertel 10. So 9:15. Not 9:45, but quarter. 9:45, so 9:45 is 3/4. 9:45, yeah, is 3/4 10. So 3/4. It's the same logic as with half. However, depending on where you are, there's also people who use the past thing for quarter, like for 15 minutes. So it's quarter past, Viertel nach. So quarter past 9, Viertel nach 9. And quarter to, Viertel vor. So quarter to 10 would be Viertel vor 9. For Viertel vor 10, sorry. That is there's a whole lot of regional difference on how you say times in German. Especially if you count dialect, because some areas in Austria, you, instead of saying past something, like quarter past, they say they basically use the word for above, über. So Viertel über 9 is quarter past 9. I like sticking to Viertel, halb und Dreiviertel. And just saying the next full hour. So yeah. So it's consistent. I mean, you can say both these differently as well. And make it more like the actual English sentence at the same time. And also more likely to be used in For All I Care. Like, in this case, you're using hunger as a noun. You're literally asking somebody if they have hunger. If you word for word translate this. Not that that's not correct. That's actually a way of saying it. It's just that you could also, and in my experience more likely, say bist du hungrig, which literally means are you hungry. You could also answer that with ich bin nicht hungrig, which is literally I am not hungry. However, the answer, like the statement of not being hungry, is more likely to be ich hab keinen Hunger. Also, we like to drop the E at the end of habe. Not that it's wrong to pronounce it, but like nobody, like I don't think any dialect doesn't drop that E. That English sentence doesn't make sense. The German is absolutely fine, but that is kind of word for word translated. Yeah, that guten Appetit, or as we use it in Austria, Mahlzeit, is also something that the English language doesn't usually do, right? Just saying a certain thing to somebody before they start eating. It's kinda similar to how in Japanese you say itadakimasu before you start eating. For German, you can either say it before you start eating, before everybody starts eating, or before somebody else starts eating, or just generally if you're walking by somebody who's currently eating. Like you come into a room and there's somebody there, like there's a group there having lunch. You're like, Mahlzeit. It also a greeting at the same time. And yes, it does mean enjoy your meal, but it kind of doesn't really have an English translation because nobody says anything like that in English. That's also where it's weird when subtitles for Japanese try to translate itadakimasu. That works a whole lot better with German, because you can actually translate that as Guten Appetit or Mahlzeit and be absolutely fine, because you can use the German words in the same situation that Japanese uses itadakimasu. There is no word for it in English, though. That is grammatically wrong. Like, that's missing part of the sentence. That's a syntax error. Wiederholen Sie bitte. Was? Repeat what? That's legit missing information. And no, you can't say that like that in a conversation if you're just trying to say, repeat that, please. That if, yes, you could say, wiederholen Sie das bitte. Just putting a das in there, like, adds the necessary noun, kinda, or like object. I guess, yeah, object. It's missing an object. There's only a subject and there's no object in this in this sentence, and it kind of needs an object. And just by using das, which is just an article, you can basically replace the object that's necessary in here with just the article das. It's like saying repeat that, please. Nobody says repeat, please.
Ich trinke nicht gern Kaffee.
Unnatural sentence. Because that
Ich trinke nicht gern Kaffee.
Shut up. That means you don't like coffee. Like, that implies you don't like coffee. It means I don't like to drink coffee, but like, that implies you don't like coffee, therefore you're way more likely to say that you don't like coffee instead of I don't like to drink coffee. Like, specifically the act of drinking it is what I don't like doing. What? It's kind of the same for English. I don't like to drink coffee is not a sentence that anybody would ever say. They just say I don't like coffee. For that, the tip here, if you don't like something, put nicht gern after the verb, falls apart. Cause
Ich trinke nicht gern Kaffee.
for like, it doesn't work. If you want to say I don't like coffee, then you say you can't say ich mag nicht gern Kaffee. That's grammatically wrong. That's completely grammatically wrong. Then you're just gonna say ich mag keinen Kaffee. Which basically means I like no coffee, but that's grammatically wrong in English, but grammatically correct in German. Okay, that's another thing that's like a German thing. Using the word with an S at the end as a time indication. Because morgens means in the morning, but at least in Austria, you're never gonna hear anybody say that. They're just gonna say in der Früh, which also means in the morning. Abends is again German. Am Abend is Austrian way of saying it. That is about the saddest freaking sentence I've ever seen. I don't live alone, I have a fish. Wow. Do you hold conversations with your fish? Also, you have one singular fish? Most fish don't, like, live alone in the wild. Pretty bad idea to have singular fish. Also, having a fish as a pet and then calling that not living alone is... it's sad, honestly. Like, you can... Then I can have a plant standing around and say I'm not living alone. Like, the interaction you have with a fish is not gonna be very great. I mean, I get saying I don't live alone if you have a dog or a cat. But that's about it. I don't know about the translation, the English translation for that. The internet doesn't work. That's like a very just matter-of-fact statement. That is a direct translation of das Internet funktioniert nicht. But if you're gonna say das Internet funktioniert nicht, then you probably mean right now it doesn't work. So the internet isn't working is kind of the more natural way of putting that in English. Again, I don't know why the English, like the part that should be the part that is the language you're coming from in this, why that is grammatically or like from a use standpoint not where it should be. Now, just to see how much this improves at like really high levels, let's look at like 60. Nobody is using the word smartphone. The same way you're not gonna say smartphone in English, you're just gonna say phone. My phone's battery is dead. You're not gonna say smartphone in German, you're gonna say Handy. Handy. You know the feeling when a sentence is grammatically correct, but still feels off? Because in this case, they haven't scored any goals. You wouldn't usually use plural in German. You wouldn't say, Sie haben keine Tore geschossen. You just say, Sie haben kein Tor geschossen. Because that already means throughout the entire game they didn't score a single goal. That way, nobody says it that way. And using da as because is something we really only use in written language in German. Like, if you're writing an essay, then you're using that. Otherwise, you're just using weil. Also means because. but nobody uses da as because in like spoken language. But yeah, that's the last one with a guidebook. So let's take the jump here thing and have a look at the first one. And then they're really just gonna ask frickin' vocabs.
Kabel.
Die Recherchen über den Kaiser waren langweilig.
Jurastudium.
I mean, I guess law school can be translated like that, but I mean, yeah, it's gonna be like law school is university level, so studium is fine. It's still the translating between English and German when it comes to education is something that I generally hate, because like there's way too many like differences in the systems that it would make any sense really. But
Gibt es Nüsse, mit denen ich einen Stollen machen kann?
the voice is really fucking annoying. I mean, gibt es is basically, are there any nuts? There is no any here. Nobody uses make for baking something in friggin' English. That depends on the meaning of that. Like, trained in terms of a job means ausgebildet. But trained in terms of, like, training, like, physical training, does not mean the same. Like, that's not the same word.
Nachdem sie studiert, will sie sofort Karriere machen.
God damn it, you have an annoying voice. And nobody says it. That's just grammatically not correct. Either nach dem Studium, so after the like. I legit have no idea what fucking Duolingo wants me to put for the English here. Because this way, like, if I just word for word translate it, it's probably going to be what Duolingo wants. But wait, after she studies. She wants to there's literally fucking words missing for that to make sense in English. What? She immediately wants to make a career, find a career, do something with a career. But you can't just say she wants career. Like, there is a lot missing here. Also, as I said, this is just wrong. Nachdem sie studiert. Then, no. That's not how you say that. Either you say nach dem Studium, which means after whatever, like... Is there an English word for das Studium? Good question. I don't actually know. Or you say, nachdem sie studiert hat. Because at that point, that would be, in the future when she is done studying. Not... Like that this is a weird way of saying that. That's grammatically just not correct. Because you're not putting it at a time that makes sense. You need a hat here to indicate that after she's done studying. Because this way it just means after she studies, which, okay, cool. You just sit down, study for a bit, and then you immediately go make a career. Yeah, sure. What? Further her career! Ah, yes! That does not that is not what that says. That English sentence is stupid and you should feel stupid. And that German sentence is even more stupid. And that's a German native speaker telling you that. Anschließen.
Anschließen.
Or verbinden, depending on what kind of connection you're making. If you're connecting a controller to your PC, that's anschließen. If you're connecting two pipes, that's not anschließen. I mean, I guess you could. No, that's not anschließen. That's verbinden.
Nach dem Uni-Abschluss wollen wir eine Kreuzfahrt machen.
There, that's better. After graduation. That's a way to say that. But not nachdem sie studiert. That, no. We want to take a cruise, I guess.
Der Sohn, Königin.
No.
Der Sohn der Königin hat sie gepflegt.
In der Öffentlichkeit war die Kaiserin sehr freundlich.
Die old general's plan was evil.
Der Plan.
I'm legit gonna mute you.
Des Elften.
No.
Alten.
There it is. I legit can't see anything anymore because I've been staring at the white screen for 2.5 hours now.
Generals. War böse.
Schläfst du gut während des Semesters?
That's a stupid question. I also suck at typing. I like how it has umlauts and sharp S down here.
Bruder. Mein Bruder hat einen Studienplatz in Berlin bekommen.
Die Zimmer des modernen Hotels waren damals viel kleiner.
At this point, you're just trying to cram as many words as possible into one sentence. Because this sentence literally doesn't make any sense anymore. It's just random words put together. Literally means the rooms of the modern hotel were way smaller back then. That's just random words put together to form a grammatically correct but devoid of meaning sentence.
Der letzte Azubi.
Sure. Was hurt by a nail. Sure. Wurde von einem Nagel verletzt. Mensch, und er hat sich an einem Nagel verletzt.
Von einem Nagel verletzt.
That sounds like the nail literally came up to the frickin' apprentice and attacked it. Or him. That's what that sounds like. Because the frickin' nail is the thing that's doing something in this. Nails can't do things. Nails are just there. So either hat sich an einem Nagel verletzt, so he hurt himself on a nail, or if somebody else hurt him with the nail, then somebody else hurt him with the nail. So Jemand hat ihn mit einem Nagel verletzt, not the nail. The nail didn't do anything. Nails don't do things other than be pointy. Like, they don't actively do things. It is actively harming the frickin' apprentice in this case. That's not, no.
Wir müssen für die neuen Möbel Werbung machen. Vor Semesterbeginn bin ich immer sehr gestresst.
Bereiten Sie den Salat mit Gurken zu.
The way he's saying that sounds like some military guy standing there in the, like, kitchen and ordering somebody to make a freaking cucumber salad. Also, don't call it Salat mit Gurken. Just call it Gurkensalat. As one word. Like,
Bereiten Sie den Salat mit Gurken zu.
just standing there in his uniform. Screaming at a guy. Bereiten Sie den Salat.
Das Gebäude dient heute als Museum.
Sei nicht so kritisch, Alex.
Oh, I overread the S.
Hast du nach dem Studium mehr Geld verdient?
This sentence is garbage. This sentence is stupid. This sentence has no meaning. Nobody connects the old phone. Huh? This sentence is missing a lot of context. And if you're gonna tell me that you want the connect that we had earlier, niemand schließt das alte Telefon an, then so be it, cause the English fucking sentence makes no fucking sense. Cause to what? To what do you want to connect that old phone? They did want. At least they fucking recognized that this works. They did want anschließen. That's a sentence you read in you'll read in, like, I don't know, the homework of a freaking grade schooler. Because this is straight up just present tense. In both parts of the sentence. Unless you actually meant read on this after I read an article, I eat ice cream, which makes still no sense in the English language to say it like that. That's grammatically wrong in English. Like, Duolingo, why do you fucking use grammatically wrong English to try and teach a different language? I'm going to type that out as pure frickin' present tense. Just because read and read are the same word unless you read it out. And it doesn't read anything right now. There is no voice line. This is straight up translation of what that sentence is saying. It's just as nonsensical. And it's correct. Oops, typoed the expert, but I suck at typing. The fact that a native speaker of German who is fluent in English makes 2 mistakes on this skipping exercise shows that this is kinda a little bit shit. Also, I'm just gonna skip all the way down to 131 and see how much more this even like goes for. If the highest fucking stage on this still makes like weird mistakes like that, I'm gonna be a little bit upset. To fight, kämpfen.
Wissen Sie, warum diese Handtücher so billig sind?
Do you know why these towels, where the fuck are the towels, are so cheap? That also sounds like you wanted to explain to me why they are so cheap. Exercise bike. You mean home trainer?
Heimtrainer.
Nein! 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 Not even the most German is going to fucking pronounce trainer not as trainer. 'Cause that's an English word. We just stole that from English. And that's just a German word for home. Heimtrainer. Not Heimtrainer. It has nothing to do with the name Rainer. Like, what the fuck? Nein. Einfach nur nein. Alter.
Denkst du, dass die SIM-Karte beschädigt ist?
No, but I think something else is damaged. To go up.
Hochgehen.
Again, German. Nobody in Austria would say hochgehen. Raufgehen. Means the same thing though.
Wessen Schuld ist es?
Whose fault is it? Also, why are you emphasizing wessen? Wessen Schuld ist es? That sounds like you're accusing me. Like, whose fault is that? It's yours. Definitely. I think the Verado crashed again.
Ich denke, der Router ist wieder abgestürzt.
Doch, ich habe um Mitternacht abgewaschen.
Wait. There is no English word for doch. There is no English word for doch. Because that's like, that's an answer you say if somebody says you didn't do something, you didn't do that, then you can say doch, which just means yeah I did. Which none of this actually says. It wants me to start the sentence with no. which is not what that says there. That's not a correct translation. No way? No. Doch does not mean no way. That's, wow, that translation was horrible. Horrible. Because the doch in this case is only used as an of course I did that. If somebody tells you, yeah, you didn't do that, of course I did. That's doch. Just one word. I don't know why the English language doesn't have a word for doch. One for you to make new friends.
Ich will, dass du neue Freunde findest. Das Buch ist in der untersten Schublade.
Was your internet connection also gone yesterday?
War.
It's really hard to find the frickin' word they're trying to say, because was your internet connection also gone yesterday? Could be, war deine Internetverbindung gestern auch weg? War ihre Internetverbindung gestern auch weg? War eure Internetverbindung gestern auch weg? So, it could be 3 different things in German. Same sentence.
Ihre Internetverbindung gestern auch weg.
And that's the only difference here is this word, which in this case is polite German direct speech. Deine would be casual German direct speech. And eure would be plural direct speech. Again, in this case, casual, because ihre is both singular and plural for the like respectful.
Der Zauberer will den Löwen fangen.
You have weird ways of, like, why?
Haben deine netten Mitbewohnern endlich
Hey!
Mitbewohnern
That's wrong! That N is not supposed to be there! Haben deine netten Mitbewohner! Nicht Mitbewohnern! Wrong case! Oh my god! That's wrong!
Mitbewohnern endlich das Bad geputzt.
Report!
Rotkäppchen und die Großmutter umarmten den Jäger.
You'll come along with us to the gallery, okay? That the way you're saying that, it kind of sounds like you're threatening me if I don't.
Du. Wirst mit uns zur Galerie mitkommen. Okay.
That's a really stupid sentence that nobody is going to ever use like that.
Du passt nie in der Stunde auf.
Im Unterricht, not in der Stunde, in this case. You never pay attention in class means du passt nie im Unterricht auf. You always get an A. That is actually also something. How does German put it? I think German says du bekommst nur ein Zen. Right? Because Austrian German, in Austrian German it's Einser. I'm going to put Austrian German, see if it... You always get an A, du bekommst immer eine Eins. Yeah! That's same meaning. Ah! Can't type.
Psst, die Aufführung fängt jetzt an.
Can you say that again?
Psst, die Aufführung fängt jetzt an.
That sounds... I mean, I know she's saying that, which literally just means shh. Like, nobody fucking says psst. But it sounds like she's saying that imperative for piss.
Psst, die Aufführung fängt jetzt an.
Pissed! Die Aufführung fängt jetzt an. It sounds like she's saying piss now, cause the Aufführung, the show is starting now. Yeah, the show is starting now. And no, it's not psst. That's not spelled P-S-T. Everybody, like, you can literally freaking ask any German speaker if they're typing out psst, which they're never gonna do because sh is, or sh is just more likely to be, or sh is more likely to be used. But psst is spelled with two S's. Fuck you, Duolingo. That is directly translated. Like, without any sense for whether this should be like, whether this is how somebody would say that. Nobody would say it like that. Okay, same meaning. Same meaning, and literally nobody would say it the way you're telling me to say it. I mean, yes, I added a to be able to read my emails, but in order to read my emails, already, like, that implies the to be able to read. And that is the more, like, this is grammatically correct. This is how people will say it. So yeah, again, the fact that somebody who is native to a German-speaking country and speaks German natively makes mistakes on this course, according to Duolingo, says a lot. So yeah, so much for my little deconstruction of Duolingo's honestly really fucking flawed German course. Does a lot of things well, but it uses really fucking stupid sentence structures sometimes. Like, and then there's just stuff that's just straight up wrong. Because that was, like, the one example that was straight up wrong. Grammatically wrong. So yeah. Don't trust Duolingo alone. I'm done here. See you in the next video.